Picture this. You're off to go get the kids. You realize you haven't eaten all day. You're starving. You're hangry. Ugh, why can't you just grab a Snickers bar? Ah! Okay, girl, don't worry. We got your back. This week, we're interviewing Jenny Thompson, integrative nutritionist and wellness coach. She's teaching us how to make healthful eating choices so easy, so simple, sustainable, and fun. You won't want to miss this one. Stay tuned. You'll get some great recipes and some great tips on how to make sure that you're getting all the nutrients you need for you and your kids. Thanks for watching this episode of Sassy AF TV. Hi, welcome back to Sassy AF TV. I'm Hallie with Sassy Healthy Fit, and I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And my special guest, Jenny Thompson, who is an integrative nutritionist and wellness coach. But before we get started on all the goodness that we're going to talk about today, kids nutrition, just wanted to give you a couple reminders. Don't forget, make sure you're following us at Sassy Healthy Fit on all social media platforms. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell for future notifications. All right, well, this is a special day because not only are we talking about kids nutrition, but we are doing this together in person. It's amazing. I'm so excited to have Jenny here because I've known her for years, and she has so much great information about all things nutrition, all things kids, super fun. So before we get started though, and I'm going to let Jenny give her intro and tell you more about herself. But Jenny, we got to do a little icebreaker, which is this. It's a fun one, I promise.
Okay, I'm ready.
It's almost fall,
yes.
And fall is such a fun time. So I want to know, what is your favorite part of the fall season? Whether it's a holiday, a favorite food, tell me something that you love about fall.
Fall flavors, no doubt.
Which one? Is there anyone in particular?
Pumpkin, everything. Pumpkin oatmeal, chia seed pudding.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Smoothies. So yeah, definitely pumpkin.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure you could mention that too, that we could probably add some pumpkin into the recipes we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Okay,
definitely.
So integrative nutrition and wellness coach. Tell us more about that. What is integrative nutrition? What does that mean?
Yeah, so integrative means that rather than me having one philosophy about teaching people for a diet, I basically match what their belief system is. So if they are drawn to a certain type of philosophy, I meet them where they're at, and then I help them discover maybe some healthier options or some new options they haven't known about before.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of more of a bio-individualistic approach, and it seems to be able to help a broader range of people.
So does that, like, for example, if somebody is vegan or vegetarian or a total carnivore, whatever it is, you can work with them to figure out what's going to be the best option for them holistically?
Exactly. And the one thing that stands the same across the board is I sort of term myself a plant-heavy chef, and that's kind of where I really go with people, is integrating more plants and more produce and more things from the earth into their diet. And then the other things, whether they're a meat eater or a vegetarian, we work with that so that they can believe in what I'm teaching them and what they're doing, and it feels good to their body.
I think that's so important. I love that you talk about, what did you call it, bio-individualized approach?
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool way to do it, because I've been very interested in nutrition for my whole life. And there's so many different ways to go about food. I mean, there's so many different options. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, but there's not one right way to do things. So I love that, you're not cookie cutter and like, you have to do it this way or you have to follow this particular diet plan. Because obviously each body is individual and probably is going to react to different types of foods on a different level.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that our bodies are constantly changing. So we might be going through a stressful time, or maybe the seasons change, or maybe we have an illness we've gotten temporarily, or even just aging. Our bodies go through changes and they need different things, and so the same diet that you did 10 years ago may not work for you in the next 5 years, may not work for you in the next 2 months.
Right.
So it's really important to teach people, or at least my philosophy is, it's very important to teach people to listen to their bodies without judgment, and then make choices that resonate with themselves.
Oh, I love that, without judgment. I mean, that's so true with all parts of life, and I know that you deal much more than just nutrition. You focus on total wellness, but the without judgment, right? Because I feel like judgment is huge. I feel that we are constantly being faced with self-judgment, judgment from others, etc. And if you can take that out of the equation, especially when it comes to what you're eating and what you're fueling your body with, it makes it so much easier.
Definitely.
Talk to us a little bit about plant-based, because I know that that comes up a lot. I feel like that's very, I don't know, trendy. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but plant-based nutrition, and whether or not you are a vegetarian or a vegan is, not really relevant. But what are some different trends that you're seeing in the plant-based movement, especially for people that want to integrate more proteins that are plant-based?
Sure, yeah. I do feel like it is somewhat of a trend, and I think there's a lot of great things about it, and then I think there's some things to also be careful with about it. The great thing is I think going back to the basics. So, you know, fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, all that kind of stuff is fantastic. I think just any kind of extreme in general, again, you have to go listen to yourself and feel out if you're doing it out of fear from something you read or something you heard, or if that's actually what your body's telling you.
That's good.
So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I love how much attention plants are getting because they're very powerful in healing our bodies. They have so many phytonutrients, so many minerals, so many things to nourish our bodies and heal our bodies, our skins, our organs, our brains, everything. They're so important, and you know, it's very important to also know where they're coming from, know how they're sourced.
Yes.
When you go to the store, a lot of the times, if you pick up a tomato or you pick up a piece of fruit and you look at the pigment, sometimes the pigment's not there, or you smell it and there's no smell there. And I think kind of that's gone downhill in our society a little bit. And so something I love about the plant-based trend is that really going to the locals farmers market or shopping at Whole Foods, or even just learning a little bit more about, you know, where your food is coming from and has it been transported from another country. That kind of thing is crucially important because the fresher your food is and the healthier the soil that it's grown in is, the more nutrition it's going to give to your body.
Right.
And that, I mean, if you're going to pay the price for organic or local anyhow, you want to make sure that you're also getting the nutrition that comes from that and that it hasn't been on a truck for a week or so beforehand.
Right. No, that's a really good point. I love also all the boxes lately that you can get. I mean, it makes it so easy. You know, we're in demand women, right? We've got so many demands on our time. We don't have time to always be going to like 4 different stores to get all the fresh produce that we want. But I just got another one in the mail the other day, and I don't remember the name of the company, but it was great because there's so many options for these fresh boxes that get delivered to you on whatever basis that you want, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly.
And they're seasonal.
Yeah, which is awesome, right?
Right.
Isn't that how you get the best nutrition, is from really focusing on what is in season at the time?
Yeah, and then it's also more cost effective because if it's in season, then it's a better deal as well. And a lot of schools, I know Hope School, we have the farm boxes now too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that families can pick up. They can sign up through the school.
Families can pick up. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
So really great.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about kids. Speaking of schools, right? You know, there's so much to be said for kids' nutrition, and I think, you know, kids have somewhat amount of control, but not all of it. What are some of your philosophies as you have your kids and you teach them? Like, what are you teaching them about nutrition so that they can make good choices throughout their day and as they get older and become more independent?
Yeah, so I think something that's very important to me about teaching my kids is the difference between man-made and then food that comes from the earth, and looking at the ingredient list and what is that food made out of, and more importantly, what is that going to do for their bodies? Is it going to help them think faster in school because it nourishes the brain? Is it going to help their eyesight? Is it going to help them from being sick? Is it going to give them energy for their soccer game? So sort of relating it to the terms that they can understand for the ages that they are. And then I have fun telling them, you know, based on the pigment, kind of relating it to like a body part.
Oh, that's cool.
So that kind of thing is fun too. So I think just making food fun for kids is great. And then also having them sort of take an internal check on how that makes them feel. So a lot of times my kids are huge smoothie fans.
Okay.
And they'll feel great for hours. And then other times if they have, you know, we might have a dinner somewhere where there's a massive dessert involved once in a while, and yeah, they feel great. They're off the walls crazy on a sugar high.
Right?
And
they're
then
bouncing everywhere.
Right. And then they're fighting with each other 30 minutes later. So it's amazing the impact that processed sugar has on kids, on their attention span, on the kind of like wildness that they get shortly after eating it, and then the massive crash they get afterwards. So, you know, Noah, for instance, my son, he's an amazing athlete, and I tell you it's because that kid is so conscientious about what he eats. He doesn't like to eat things that don't make him feel good. Not to say he won't have a cupcake at a birthday party, but he doesn't always want one.
Right.
So he kind of listens to his body, and most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, he's asking for fruits, vegetables, whole grains, proteins, smoothies. I mean, this kid is very in tune with his body and what it asks for.
That's awesome. There's so much that you just said there that I want to kind of dive into. I think being in tune with your body, whether you're a kid or an adult, that is a huge skill set. If you can be more in tune with everything that's going on in your life, whether it has to do with what you're fueling your body with, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're moving your body, right? It's like, I talk about fitness a lot, and you know, some days you are like on fire and you're like, I can lift all these weights and do all these squats and it's amazing. And other days you're like, I just need to chill and take like a beach walk or do some yoga, right? So you really have to be in tune. So same with what you're eating. And I think the point you make about sugar is fantastic. I mean, I feel it myself. It's like if I indulge in a dessert with all the sugar, yeah, it tastes good, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, oh, I ate too much, and then just crash, it's terrible. So then it makes me rethink it, like in the future, do I want to eat all that? Maybe I just have one bite, you know. So I think it's really awesome that you're able to, you know, communicate that message, you know, especially to your kids. And if we can have more communication around that with our kids, I think it's so important.
Definitely.
Yeah. Tell me about, I love what you said about the pigment in food, and you relate that to body parts. Can you just tell us, like, what does that mean? How do you do it?
Yeah, so,
that's fun.
You know, they say that red foods are good for your heart, and your heart is red.
Okay.
So, and then other times they'll say that the shape of a food is sort of, you can relate that to a body part. So, an avocado is, it's full of healthy fats, but it's also really good for our tummies. So you can relate it to different body parts, the colors or the shape of the food.
That's cool. Yeah. I like that, and I love having it fun. One of the things that we do in our family is my kids love, they love raw veggies, which is great for me because I don't have to cook them. So again, it's like one less thing I have to do makes me happy. So we do a lot of cut up veggies, especially either right before dinner or serve them with dinner. And I love to put them on the plate and see all the rainbow colors, and I just think it looks really pretty. And it's fun for them to have that kind of, you know, experience there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, we want to definitely share some tips on how to help kids with their nutrition. So let's talk a little bit about snacking. And Jenny is so awesome. She put together some samples of snack plates that she makes for her kids. And I wanted her to talk about it and teach us so that we can do the same for our kids.
Yeah, so my kids come home most days and they are starving. They've had sports, they've had a long day, and dinner's not going to, even if dinner wasn't for 30 minutes, kids just spend so much energy, they just need something now. So I like to do kind of what you just described. I like to make these nice little snack plates, and we have a variety of colors. I'm big on telling kids to eat the rainbow.
I love that. I've loved that since I learned it when my kids are in preschool. It's great.
Yeah, and then it teaches them too. So, you know, if I tell them, okay, can you get yourself a snack, they know to go to the fridge, and they know that they're expected to have it be a fruit or a vegetable. It needs to be colors, and they have fun with it. My kids could be food photographers because they're very good at plating now. Awesome. So here we have, you know, raspberries, blackberries, we've got carrots, cucumbers, we have some pistachios for healthy fats, and then I actually make homemade granola bars just because I know what I can put in them. So I sneak all kinds of fun things in there.
So what's in that one?
Yeah, so this one is whole oats, and then I put in chia seeds, hemp seeds, nut butter. It's sweetened with a little bit of honey. I do flaxseed, and then I do some mini chocolate chips.
Yum.
Yeah, and some cinnamon, coconut oil. So tons of healthy fats, really great wholesome grains, and then protein from all the nuts and seeds. Nice. So these are delicious. My kids love them, and it's perfect to tide them over before dinner.
And I bet they last a long time too. Like when you make a batch, can you freeze some, or what's your process with that?
Yeah, so I will actually cut these up and freeze them. I'll wrap them in parchment paper, and then we just keep a stock in the freezer. Nice. They're perfect for the lunchbox. Chase takes them to her teacher and her friends at school. So they're great.
That's awesome.
And they're actually totally fine to eat for a breakfast or a snack any time of day. They're just so full of nutrition that, I mean, you don't feel bad feeding them to your kids.
Right. Well, and you know, we talk always at Sassy Healthy Fit about things that are simple, sustainable, and fun. So right here, this is a great example of something that's simple, sustainable, and fun. It's beautifully plated. It's so easy. And would we be able to share that recipe afterwards? I'll put it in the show notes.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Definitely.
Okay, that would be great.
Definitely.
I know Jenny has a great blog, and I'll let her tell you about that later, but she has tons of great recipes on there, so we'll make sure that you have all that information as well. All right, so the next thing we wanted to talk about was smoothies, because I know Jenny said her kids are fans of smoothies, and they're great for whether it's a snack, whether it's a meal replacement for breakfast or lunch. So talk to us about smoothies, and what do you recommend when kids are making smoothies, or you're making them for your kid?
Yeah, so smoothies are great because they're a sneaky way to, and I shouldn't even say sneaky, they're a fun way to get your kids excited about eating vegetables. So I love that you can get the fiber from the fruit and the vegetables. You can put in healthy fats from nuts and seeds, or oils, healthy oils, and then you can pick a million flavors. And so kind of how we got into this was my kids were very into going to Blenders all the time. And as a mom, I'm not so excited about that as a everyday type thing, just because it's, you know, kind of ice cream in your smoothie, and that doesn't.
And it's expensive too.
And it's expensive. So, and it's a lot of sugar because they're using fruit juice in there. So I kind of had my kids tell me, okay, well, let's try to make your favorite smoothie at home, or if they have a favorite ice cream flavor, we try to replicate that. If it's a fruit flavor, something we can do at home. So that's how it started. But we have over here, I have today my kids' favorite all-time smoothie. They call it Tropical Blast, and it's a mango smoothie, but we put all kinds of fun stuff in here. So we put in frozen mangoes. I actually make my own nut milks most of the time.
Oh, that's cool.
If I don't have time, I will absolutely buy it, but I love making it. It's very creamy, and it's a easy thing to do. So I encourage you to try that for sure. We put in spinach, which is high in protein and calcium. And then we have cucumbers here, super hydrating, lots of silica. We put in lime juice. Today I'm going to do hemp seeds. Those are high in protein and healthy omega fats. We have peanut butter. If you have a nut allergy, you could easily use sunflower butter, or you could use coconut oil if you're not allergic to coconut. But just something to give it a creaminess. Yeah, and then banana. Everyone loves banana and potassium.
mango.
Yeah, so
awesome.
Exactly. And you know, you can put in whatever you like. My kids sometimes add pineapple. They might do berries with this, but this is their ultimate all-time favorite. So it comes out nice and green when it's done. You can see there's no chunks in there, so the kids really love that, and it tastes great. So we'll have.
Okay,
I'm gonna try it, Hallie.
Okay. Oh, I like Tropical Blast. They're good.
And so
that's really good. I like the lime. I never thought to put lime juice in it. I do a lot of pop. Yeah, it does make it pop because I do a lot of smoothies with a lot of greens and some fruit, but I haven't thought to put any citrus, lemon or lime, which is funny because I put it in everything else like my water. But that's delicious.
Yeah, it gives it a nice little pop. And then for kids, I just have to tell this little story because it is just the cutest story ever. So I do have my fancy big Vitamix, but Noah got so into smoothies that he was wanting to make his own, and he wanted to learn how to do it safely, and he wanted to be able to do it without me having to watch him all the time.
Right.
And at the time, he was only 7, so that's pretty little. So we looked into how we could do this, and we found that this little NutriBullet here is perfect because it's very safe. You can actually just make the smoothie, put the lid on, and then he can just push it down. But it's really great for your kids to make smoothies in because, I'll get a little spoon out here. I'm going to show you a great way for them to sort of measure out ingredients that's super helpful. So you can have them put some fruit in here.
And are these single serving size smoothies? That was hard to say.
Yeah.
Single serving size smoothies.
So they are. I will say my kids like a big smoothie.
Yeah.
So if your kids aren't used to having smoothies a lot, or if they're have smaller appetites for that, you might want to do half this amount. But this will make a hearty smoothie. And another thing that we like to do is if Noah doesn't finish it, we'll pour it in a mason jar and put it in the freezer. And if you pop it out and leave it out for 5 minutes, it's like sorbet.
Yeah.
So we call it protein ice cream.
Perfect.
And then it's a perfect thing if Chase comes home from school, she can just pop that out and pretend she's having
especially when it's hot out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we put in all the fruit first. So we'll do, that's probably about a cup to maybe cup and a quarter of mango. You don't really have to worry too much about measuring. We did half a banana. And then the trick for the liquid, and you could use anything. You could use water, you could use coconut water, and then any type of milk that you like. This one happens to be an almond milk today. So you just do it to cover the fruit, basically.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then you can put in your other ingredients. Save the greens for last, because you can smash those in. But that's our hemp seeds.
I always put the greens in first. Should I put them in last?
Yeah, because that way you get all the compact stuff down at the bottom. And then if you're like me, I love to fit in as much of those greens as possible.
Yes, I do too. I'm always shoving in all the greens. Yeah.
So then you know what you're working with.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So then we have some nut butter here. This is probably about a tablespoon. And then we'll do some lime juice.
Oh, I like it on the mason jar. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mason jars are the best. They look good. They
I know.
work well. So many purposes.
Totally. And you know, I do this first thing in the morning. I usually will have green juice, but if I don't, then I love to do like my lemon water with a little apple cider vinegar or a little grind of pink salt just to kind of alkalize the body. So that's one lime. And then we have a cucumber here. I think I cut up two, so we'll just do one. That's a Persian cucumber. And then
you get all your greens
and then we have all our greens. So that's going to be a good, at least a cup in there, maybe some more, of great greens for your kids.
Oh, that's awesome. And then I see you can smash in all the greens, so you
Yeah.
get extra vitamins, a lot of vitamin A, and
Exactly.
good nutrients in all those spinach greens.
Exactly.
I love the super greens too. Those are one of my favorites.
Yes.
The organic super greens.
And then you get a variety,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, and then so we won't blend it and hurt your ears today, but you can just pop that in, push it down, and this will actually stop on its own when it's done blending.
Oh, that's awesome.
So-
Now, would you add extra ice, or is the frozen mango enough?
It's enough, but if you were using fresh fruit, which we do sometimes, you
Add
could
some ice.
definitely add some ice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I think that's great. I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to kids' nutrition, it's not complicated, right? You don't
No.
have to overcomplicate it. And having the conversations with them, I think that that's what you said about, you know, teaching them to be in tune with their body and talking to them, right? You're talking to them about what are we eating? How is it making my body feel? What are the ingredients in whatever the thing is that you're eating? What can we make at home versus having to buy
Exactly.
pre-made at a store or at a
Exactly.
restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I think that that's huge when it comes to you know, educating them and giving them a skill set that they can use throughout their life to really feel good and take care of their wellness. Because when, you know, I didn't learn this stuff as a kid. I don't know if you did.
No.
But I was, you know, growing up drinking Diet Coke like it was going out of style. It was like I never drank water.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was eating a lot of packaged foods and processed things. I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different. I didn't understand why it was important to understand where your food comes from and how it fuels your body and what it does for you. So I think this is I think this is a huge shift, and I think the lessons that you're teaching, you know, this is so valuable to, you know, overall wellness for an entire lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it starts young because actually they say that you create your children's taste buds at a young age. And it takes a really long time to try to reverse negative habits and sort of taste buds that are hooked on sugar. So the younger you can start that with your kids, then they'll actually make those healthier choices throughout their life. And then they'll become more sensitive to the taste of sweetness. So when they eat something like a mango, that will taste really sweet to them. And then if they were to go have something like a piece of candy, sometimes it might actually be too much.
Right. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so awesome, Jenny. I know you've got so much information that you could share. How can people find you, and do you have anything going on that you want to talk about? Tell us.
Yeah, so definitely. So currently I have a food blog up and website, and that has tons of fun, healthy recipes. It's greensandgracesb.com. And then I'm doing nutrition consulting one-on-one or with families. And then I'm also doing some small group cooking classes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and again, it's a bio-individual approach. So based on what the person is needing, what they're looking for. And it's not always just about the food. It's a lot of times other things going on in life. They might have something stressful going on in work life or family life, or maybe they've been so busy being a mom or building a career that they haven't really focused on their self-care, and they've kind of forgotten, like,
we know about that.
Yeah, you know, maybe they need to get back in touch with what they even enjoy, or what, you know, help them get a kickstart on investigating what that might be at this next phase in their life, and just finding more ways to embrace life and find joy and connect with people, but really mostly connect back to themselves. And that's really what wellness is about, and a huge part of feeling good. So kind of balancing out all those factors, treating the whole person.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I'm so grateful for you
Yeah.
for being here today, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got some great ideas, some great tips on how to take care of your own bodies, teach your kids so they can take care of their bodies. We'll make sure to link all of Jenny's contact information, her blog with all her recipes in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here as part of Sassy AF TV. Don't forget, make sure that you're following us at Sassy Healthy Fit on all social media. Make sure you hit that YouTube subscribe and the bell for notifications. And tune in next week for our next Sassy episode of Sassy AF TV. Thank you for watching. We got to do a hug.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad we were here today. This is great. And this smoothie is amazing.
And it matches your outfit, Hallie.
It does. Cheers!